说这部电影大部分都忠于原来的原著，然后他觉得要把这本书原著就是放在90分钟的电影当中，一定是很大的挑战。他发现其实有几场戏是原著里面没有的，例如说他提到一场戏是 K 这个角色往窗外面看，然后窗外有两个演员2个角色正在互动。他想要导演解释一下，就是为什么有这一场小说里面没有的场景，然后这场的意义是什么？
对，就是这样的。其实一开始拍这个电影的时候，是我们有2个导演有很多的想法，去试着去努力的去呈现这个城堡，我们所理解的城堡。然后呢，我们在拍摄过程当中，我们也拍了很多跟原著，就比方说你们认为的跟原著不一样的东西，可这是恰恰是我们理解到的所谓的城堡，所以会有这样的场景。这其实是少了很多。
Two directors, I and the other director, we had a lot of thoughts when we wanted to represent the castle in this film. What you have seen in the film, what you believed that was different from the original text, was actually our own standing of the castle. So that probably could explain why you believe that was different from the book.
I would like to ask a question that, of course, I wasn't able to hear because I don't speak Mongolian, so I wouldn't have been able to understand the differences of Mongolian dialects that apparently were in the film, but I read about it, and I read about that it was sometimes even impossible for the actors to understand each other. I would like you all to talk about this experience of having almost no common language in the way you were talking about, and in how far that was maybe also used very creatively.
他这个问题，主持人这个问题是关于蒙古话，就是你们是以蒙古话的演出，然后他想要，因为他完全不说这个语言，但是他有读到一些资料说，有时候其实你们演员彼此之间是没有办法理解彼此在说什么状态底下，他想要知道说，如何使用这个语言，然后这个语言对你们演戏来讲有什么样的影响？他说有时候你们使用这个方言的时候，你们彼此之间并不知道彼此在说什么。The host, sorry, so they could understand each other totally. They do have a common language when they're doing when they're shooting the film.
就是说到方言的话，蒙古语里面也有很多地方，比如说呼伦贝尔、锡林郭勒、鄂尔多斯，我们这些演员就是这个3个地方的演员比较多。然后这里面呢，我们也会发生一些就是统一的语言的问题。然后我们每一个人讲的，比如说我是呼伦贝尔人，我讲的是呼伦贝尔话，他是鄂尔多斯人，而且他从小是汉语授课，然后有一些可能会台词上有一点问题，但是他已经说得很表达得很清楚了。我们虽然有方言的问题，但是都能听得懂。
There are actually 3 major dialects in Mongolia, and the actors are actually they all speak these 3 major dialects. However, we do have a really good understanding of each other because some actors have a good education of Han, which is Han language, which is can be referred as the Mandarin, and so we actually have a common language that we can work together.
So I was reading something that is a continuation of the story, but please, I saw some.
I still have a question for the director. From the information at the end of the film, we have known that director Jia Zhangke is one of the executive producers of this film. Jia Zhangke is also a very famous Chinese director in China, or to some extent also in the world, I think. So I'm very curious about it, whether he has already seen this film, or how did he decide to produce this film? It's very werde ich meine Frage dann ins Chinesische übersetzen.从片尾的信息来看，我们已经得知贾樟柯是这一部影片的2个执行制片之一。我个人认为贾樟柯是一个非常著名的中国导演，当然在某种程度上也是世界知名的导演。那么我非常好奇，贾樟柯本人对这部影片是有怎样的反应，或者说贾樟柯是怎样决定投资这样一部影片的？谢谢。
I don't know, maybe Jessica wants to answer this question.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming to see our film. So as one of the other executive producers, and I would say because how can I say, I'm also the wife of the one director, the one who couldn't come today. So I actually took part in the whole process from the very beginning. And it's hard for everybody really to adapt the novel into a film. It's really hard because Kafka's novel is already, it's a word across like a literature. It's hard to understand the novel itself and hard to adapt into the film. But so really while we were doing how can I say, the filming and we were preparing for the film, we were discussing with all the actors, and even including the post-production. There are lots of difficulties, like we have lots of problems, like how to perform the film, how to show the Kafka's castle in our way. But in the very beginning we failed with difficult I feel like versions. So when Jia Zhangke, when he saw our first film like editing, he liked it very much. I remember he said one thing like one of the dialogue in the film says every relationship has its own flaws. I think he's touched by that sentence. So I think that's why he took part in this film. I think, yeah, that's right. Thank you.
There's another question.
Thank you. I'm going to ask some question from the production point of view. Just wondering, how come the stories has been adapted into a film, and then the film has been made in Mongolia? It's not in mainland China. Is it because of the restrictions or political things in mainland China? Just want to ask the directors, how can your production team overcome the difficulties or the pressures, and then successfully make the film to the end?
就是想问一下，就是我们就是大陆现在做一些文艺片会有一些限制，想问你们是如何克服困难，然后最终选择在另一个蒙古第二个区域，然后把它做出来的？想大概了解一下你们这个流程，或者是中间有什么样不容易做到的事情吗？谢谢，Thank you。
您说的这个困难是指的是什么样的困难？是制作的困难，还是做艺术片的困难？
应该是拍摄的困难。
拍摄的困难是。这个问题 so difficult.
I know it's very sensitive, but it's like to the filmmakers is all we want to know. 对，就是我们特别想知道这个是怎样去做的。因为都很简单，从剧本然后到pre-production, production and post-production. That's just the theories. How can you adapt the theory in a country which is very pressured for filmmakers to make it possible? I mean, in mainland China. 会不会这也是另外一个原因？我们选蒙古女来演，用蒙古的演员来做，会不会相对简单和轻松一些？我就是特别想了解一下。
明白。也不是这个原因。为什么选择蒙语的？本来我自己是蒙古族，当然这个语言是我们的便利。然后我们的另一个导演，他也会蒙语，他在内蒙古生活了7年，所以这是我们可以沟通的一个最便利的一个地方。所以我们可以，我们只能选择蒙语，这是我们